Okay, so this is a quick video to answer Harry Smythe's, I think it's Smythe, might be Smith, I think it's probably Smythe's, questions about the battery connections inside a Commodore N60. So this is my S61, which is very similar inside. I've got this one because this is the one that I'd actually got a battery pack connected to, and you can sort of see that the black battery lead is the far bottom left pad, and the red I connect to the next one immediately to the right of it. I'll get some close-up photos of this and post it on my blog and link that down below. So the S61, which is this one here, is a very similar PCB. If I put the PCB there, it is, well, looking at it, it is exactly the same PCB. It's got the same part number. They're the same revisions, they're exactly the same. So the battery connections are here. So that one there on the bottom left, that's the black, and then the next one to the right of it is the red. So they're the two you want in the bottom left. But I will put better still photos of that up on the blog. The other question he had was about the middle screw that holds the keyboard on. So the keyboard's held on with quite a lot of screws, and the outside ones you can just get to, but the middle inside top, bit of a problem. So what I do is I take the power connector off, and then it's a bit scary, so I just bend the keyboard connector all the way up like that, and now you can access all the screws on the keyboard. It is a bit scary, but there is actually effectively a wire connector here, and that will tolerate some bending. I wouldn't do it too often, but it's not a disaster if it goes wrong, because you can just take it out and replace it with a ribbon cable. It's quite a lot of soldering and it's a bit fiddly, but it's easily done, and it will resurrect the calculator. And in fact, on my M55 I had to do that because battery corrosion had got all the way up inside that connector and was corrupting the scanning of the display and the keyboard. Once I did that on the M55, that was the final step in getting it working again, because that had pretty bad battery corrosion. So the other thing, I think Harry's calculator's got a lot of corrosion on it, so or at least it's got some battery corrosion inside, enough to take the lead off the PCB, so that's going to be a fair amount. So the thing to do is to clean the PCB with PCB cleaner. I'm not sure isopropyl alcohol will work properly. I use PCB and flux cleaner. And the thing to do is to clean it and get it as clean as you can possibly make it, and then clean it again, because it seems to be very, very sensitive to corrosion, and that will cause ghosting on the display and possibly other problems. You also want to check for tracks that have been eaten away and replace those with wires if that's happened. Once you've got it all back together again, you just bend the keyboard connector back down, click it into the bendy posts on either side, and then put the charging connector back in. I'll do that in a minute. So I hope that helps. If there's anything else you want, then post another comment. Good luck. I mean, I've got three of these. I've got the set of three, the M, the N, and the S, and all of them needed some sort of repair, which was battery corrosion. But all of them have come back up. I think the M55 was the most drastic repair I had to do, because that had been sitting there with leaking batteries for quite a while. But obviously that's worth it, and it's now working. I've got it on charge at the moment. It's a bit of a shame, really, in some ways. They've got rechargeable battery packs, because you have to have them wired in, and you leave them in and they leak, and then you end up with these problems. But other than putting some sort of external battery pack there, it's difficult to see what to do about that. You'd have to keep opening and closing the case and so on if you wanted to use them. So the thing to do is probably to take the back case off and check the batteries are okay every year or so, and any sign of battery leakage, and then just chuck them away, because they're really quite nice calculators to use. But anyway, there we go.